Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. So my name is Alan. So today we're going to do something a bit different, and we're going to talk about the latest Game of Thrones episode that was on last night because it was so amazing. I just really want to give my thoughts about it because it's fresh in my mind, and I'm a huge fan of the series, both the TV show and the book. So just a quick disclaimer before we begin. So there are of course going to be spoilers for the episode, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, and this is season 4 episode 9, I strongly advise to click off the video now and rewatch the episode or watch the episode, and then if you want, come back and watch this, and if not, that's cool too. But do not proceed with this video if you have not watched the episode. Okay, I'll give you fair warning, and if you proceed past this point, it's your own fault. Also, comments are disabled on this video because a lot of people who've read the books are dicks and they just want to spoil it for everyone, and I don't want to give them that chance. So if you want to discuss the episode with me, just send me a message or something like that, and we'll get to that. We can discuss it that way. And if you just want to show your appreciation for the video, if you like it or not, just like the video. Ratings of course will still be available, so that's how you can show if you like it or not. So yeah, we'll just say that now. It's not. This isn't going to be a review as such. It's more just going to be me talking about the points I liked, disliked, and just talk about the key points I thought were awesome and explain how they differ from the books, but not in a bad way. Just explain, because some people have been complaining, and I just want to say what it was like. So with enough rambling, let's get into the episode. So the first thing I want to bring light to is at the very start, Sam and Jon talking about sex. I just thought that was nice, and it was a good little comedic kind of intro because of course we knew there was going to be a big battle coming on. So it was a nice little bit of comedy to start us off, and I thought it was really funny the way Sam just tried to justify having sex with Gilly by literally going through his vows and being like, well, it doesn't exactly state that we can't have sex, just that we can't have children or can't have wives. And he does have a point though, it's very true, so I thought that was just really good. And Sam grows up a lot. He grows up a lot in this episode. He's scared, but he doesn't let it cripple him anymore like he used to in the earlier part of the series, like in season 1 and 2. He's starting to grow up and take a bit of a leadership role. I mean, nothing compared to what Jon does later on, but we'll get to that. But he does seem to be becoming a bit of a man, and he's not as scared as he used to be. And even with him and Pip, he's like teaching him how not to be scared. I really liked that speech he had with Pip about not being scared or how to deal with being scared, and it was a great moment. Like, the tables have reversed, because in the past Pip and Gren would be kind of telling Sam not to be scared. So I thought that was a great moment, and I really like Sam as a character. I know some people probably are indifferent to him, but he's a great little character, and he's just changed so much from when we first met him to like just a plump little scared kid to now becoming a man of the Night's Watch, not forsaking his brothers, even though he's scared and knows that he probably won't survive. And it's just really good. Also, on that note, really sad for Pip. Like, I mean, that wasn't in the books, but it really added a bit of drama to it, and it was just like, oh, really? I wasn't expecting that. Like, so I like when they make small changes to the show, because as a book reader, I'm not expecting it, and it takes it in a different direction. And like, Pip doesn't play a huge role beyond this anyway in the book, so it's not like you're missing out on much. And it just, I don't know, I kind of liked it, but it was really sad at the same time. Another great moment as well was when Gilly survived. So I thought that was great, and it was really funny when Sam just told Pip to open the door. He's like, open the fucking door. Excuse the cursing, but that was just really good, and I loved that moment as well. So really good to see her back in the show, and that moment with her and Sam as well, when Sam kisses her and is like, I will be back. And you know, in Game of Thrones, when someone promises to be back, they usually die. So it's good to see that Sam actually manages to survive this episode, because he is quite an important character now. So moving on from Sam now, I also liked a little bit of the way they humanised Alistair Thorne. That speech to Jon at the top of the wall, where he's like, I can't doubt myself, and I know you were right about the blocking up the gate, but I had a couple of decisions, and I like the way him and Jon kind of got on, even though they know they don't like each other. They kind of work together, kind of a small bit of mutual respect going on, and there is a hint of that in the books as well at certain parts, just it's not as obvious. So it's really good that they had that. I really like that, and because as George R. R. Martin constantly states, he's always stating that no character is truly good or truly evil. You know, it's not black and white, and this just furthers that point, and it shows you that there is some good in him, even though it doesn't come out a lot. So I really like that. And then Alistair going head to head with Tormund. That was a pretty good fight. Now Alistair Torn is probably the best fighter that they have at the Night's Watch at this current time. And he couldn't beat Tormund, so that says a lot. But I like that fight a lot. It was really good and really well done, and I'm glad that Alistair Torn survived, because he does have a part to play as well later on. So that was cool, and the fact that Janice Slynt's cowardice just made it even more enjoyable. I mean, we all knew he was a bit of a coward, but like he just kind of lost it completely, and that forced Jon into a leadership role, which I thought was great, because once he let the pressure get to him, and Jon really just shines in this role. He just took up the command. He really shows a lot of promise. He becomes far more important. And in the books, you see, he plays a much more important role, and he actually saves the Night's Watch from the raiding party. Him and a couple of others, they like basically play a pivotal role. In the show, he does play a big role as well, but it's not as important or as influential, I will say, in the show as it was in the books. But it's still very enjoyable, and he gets the best fighting scenes. I want to say that his fighting scenes are badass. Like he shows really good skill in the show, and I really like how they do it. I really love his character, especially in the books, and I love his character in the show as well. He's just one of them characters that I really like. He's one of my favourite characters. Like him, Tyrion, Jaime, Sir Davos, even Stannis in the books, not so much in the show though, are my favourite characters, as well as the Hound. There are a few others as well, but he's one of my favourite characters. And like, I mean, some people don't like him, and I get that, because he's a bit more whiny in the show, and he's fairly whiny in the books as well, but I kind of like that, so you know, that's just me. But yeah, he does really well this episode. It kind of centers around him, not only him of course, but he's kind of the heart of this episode, which kind of brings us into the heartbreaking moment with Ygritte, and that makes it so much sadder. So some people might be like, well, she was about to shoot him, but she really wasn't. I mean, she talked a lot about killing him, especially in this episode, but we all knew that wasn't going to happen. It was just really sad, but it was more sad in the books, not because they changed it, because it was literally word for word, but because in the show they had to kill that kid's parents, one of them, and a lot of innocent people there at Molestown. But in the books that didn't happen. It just skated right to they just went straight after Jon to Castle Black, and there was no mention of them attacking Molestown. Now, chances are they probably did, it just wasn't mentioned in the books, but we didn't get that kind of thing where she murdered all these innocent people and stuff. So like, it's not as sad in the show, but it is still fairly sad, and because I know her character and what it's like, it's still very sad to see that moment with her and Jon, and we knew it wouldn't work out anyway, but it was still that really heart-wrenching moment. And yeah, it was pretty bad. This episode has a lot of heart-wrenching moments in it, and its next episode is probably going to be the same as well, so just brace yourselves for that. So the last heartbreaking moment in this episode was when we see Gren. Like, Jon sends Gren and a few men to guard the gate, and we knew from that moment that they weren't going to survive, because they saw the giants coming, and it was just that moment, you just know, like Jon and Gren, like they even shake hands, and it's like, you have to do what you have to do, you know. That was really sad. In the books, actually, it was a character called Donal Noy, who was the armourer, but he was sent down. Well, actually, he wasn't sent. He had command, and he went down with a few men, and they found him later with his sword through the giant's neck, but he was dead, of course, as well as the other men. But they didn't cast him in the show, so they had to get someone that we cared about, and I suppose that had to be Gren. Like I said, Gren and Pip don't play a huge role in the next few books, but they do play a role, and they're important for Jon's development, so it's kind of weird that they did kill them. I know they did it for like shock value, and you know, because we had to have people that we care about die, but at the same time, like if they come back into the next books that George R. R. Martin is still writing, because he has two more, he has The Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring coming out. If they come back in those books and play a big role, like, it's going to be a problem, because they're now dead on the show, so I don't know what's going to happen there. So hopefully that doesn't come back and bite us in the ass. Really sad. I mean, that was probably one of the more heartbreaking moments, aside of course from Ygritte's death. And then Jon's decision at the end. So a lot of people I've seen in comments and stuff on videos talking about this are Jon's decision at the end. They're saying it was a stupid decision for him to go out and talk to Manfreda. But it's not really, because you've got to see from his point of view, they've lost about, based on the show and how everything goes on, they've lost about half their men at least. You know, and they only had about 100, and Mance still has over 100,000. And Mance is the only thing that's keeping them together. So going out to him is really the only logical thing. But it is kind of a suicide mission, and in the books what happens is actually Alistair Thorne and Janice Flint sent Jon Snow out after the battle to try and kill Mance Rayder, because they know it's a suicide mission and they expect him to die, because they don't like Jon Snow in the books as much as it's portrayed in the show. Like, it's so much worse in the books, I mean to say, their hatred for him. So they send him out on a suicide mission, but Jon, he doesn't intend to kill him, I don't think. Not truly, but I'm not going to get into that because we get into a whole spoiler territory, and I'm sure we'll see the major events of that happening in the next episode anyway. But it's essentially, Jon doesn't decide or elect to go out there voluntarily. He's sent out to die, basically. So, but other stuff happens, of course, but we'll see that next week. But overall, it's been a fantastic episode, reminiscent of Season 2, Episode 9 with the Battle of the Blackwater, and the same director actually directed this episode as that episode, so of course it had a kind of similar feel to it. And overall, I really liked it. The fight scenes are very good, the drama was good, a lot of really good character deaths that really shocked people, and I didn't think we'd see that many after like Oberyn last episode. So overall, gotta say it's a very good episode, one of my favourites overall, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much. So please leave a rating if you liked it, and message me if you want to discuss it further. And yeah, let me know as well if you want to see more of these kind of videos. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I just saw the episode and I just really wanted to say my thoughts on it. So thanks for watching and have a great day, guys.